This week on Community Chat, Hagen Norris PLC, truck wreck and brain injury lawyers, is speaking with Tammy Carr, publisher at Best Version Media. Tammy is a powerhouse connector. She makes it her business to know the best local businesses in Colorado and to share them with the community. She helps local businesses grow by helping them with their print and their media branding and reach. She lets the community know what companies are credible, reputable, and legitimate. Tammy has an amazing journey, coming from working in marketing with large corporations. She is not like any other publisher, and you will learn what it is like to work with Tammy. Lastly, she will give a training tidbit for the local business owners out there. Welcome, Tammy. How are you doing?
Hi there. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. You have a great story, which is essentially coming from large corporate America, doing print and media there, and basically bringing that same skill set but to the local Colorado market, which is fantastic because you are really good at vetting who are really the local businesses that are reputable, doing great services, and you want to share them with everybody. And so you've really made a mark for yourself for really making a lot of local companies around town be really successful. And it's just fantastic. I'm glad that you're my friend, but I'm also glad that you're sharing just your knowledge with the community because I truly look to you as a guide as well. And so just to start, I would love for you to share your journey. How did you even get into publishing locally in Colorado for Best Version Media?
Yeah, so I like to say I'm the person that never knows what they want to be when they grow up, and that was kind of evident. I went to college not knowing I had a path going to the Montfort Business School, and I found very quickly that I just didn't fit in. It was just not my place and not my space. So it took me just reevaluating what I was into, what I could do, what I was successful at. And so through that program, I ended up with a master's in public relations, mass communications with an emphasis in advertising and marketing. And then I also have a double minor in psychology and sociology. So I thought I was set, right? But let's go, let's graduate. Well, then 2002, 2003 happened. And we all know what the world was like then. I couldn't even get a bartending or serving job with such a big degree. So it was a big challenge for me to just have this goal and all this education and knowledge and know where to go. So I actually went to work with my sister at a law firm in Boulder. And I just took whatever job I could get. And that's kind of my MO is I'm going to hustle and make it until I make it. And so I worked there until I could get my foot in the door at J. Walter Thompson. And that's an ad agency downtown, headquartered in Dearborn, Michigan. And I literally started as a temp at the front desk, but I didn't care. I was going to make it and I was going to find a way. And they were on a hiring freeze for several years. And through that time, I didn't take a lunch. I proved myself. I offered to help wherever I could. And that just really interjected me into I got promoted to do this, and then I got hired here, and then I moved over here, and then I worked on account services with the television stations, and then I moved over to creative. And so I've worked everywhere with the print advertising. I was a producer in the studio making commercials for Ford. I ran all the talent. I was basically the pivot person in between all of our clients at Ford Motor Company and then all of the agency. So the creative teams, copywriters, producers, everything. So I loved it there. They did give me some work-life balance, which was amazing because that culture oftentimes does not. But I had great bosses and mentors there. So I was able to raise two little boys and still work at the ad agency, which is no easy feat for sure. And after about 12 years, I just got the feeling that when I came home every day, my biggest accomplishment was making an advertisement for a Ford Raptor that costs $75,000 and people buy it and they can't afford it. And it just wasn't doing anything for me. The glitz and glam of being downtown and working, it just wore off. And so I really started to soul search of what I could do. And that was basically where I decided I need to take the agency brain on the road and actually use it to help people. So I walked away from J. Walter Thompson, then they turned into GTB, and started my own venture with publishing. So it wasn't too far off the mark with my undergrad degree. And then I also got my MBA while I was at the agency as well. So I said, well, I guess I'm going to use my degree to start my own business. And that took me to publishing with Best Version Media and looking to help people.
Well, I think that's fantastic. And kind of that sets the reason why you're so credible, authentic, and you're the go-to, because you're taking these ads that you were doing for Ford Motor Company and you're bringing that talent to the local service provider. And it really shows with the quality of work you do. So that leads me to the next question. What is it like to, one, work for you and also be a client of yours? Because what's great for you is you're not only giving opportunities to local businesses in the area, but you're also giving great opportunities to people that were just like you, right? The mom at home, and people that want to break into this field. You're giving jobs to them as well. So double here. I want you to talk about what is it like to work for you, and also what is it like to be a client of yours, and what stands working for you apart from any other ad agency.
Yeah. So what it's like working with me in my market is you're your own person. You're your own business. You set your own hours. You know what needs to get done. And I'm just literally an advocate for you no matter where we go. I help with anything that you need guidance on as your market manager. I go on presentations if they need me to. I'm really just their cheerleader. And since I've been doing it for so long, a lot of times you come into this role and you think you can't do it. You think it's such a big job. And when we go through training, it's so much information. And so to have a real life person that does it in action, be walking right alongside you is huge. And I didn't really have that. So I make it my mission to make them not feel alone and give them the motivation after a hard day so that they can keep going for themselves. And so as far as being a business client of ours, really one of my big things is education. So the local plumber, the local electrician, they are experts at what they do, but they can't be an expert in all things. And I do seem to find that marketing and what to do and where to put their dollars is literally one of the top pains of so many of these businesses because they're just trying to do what they do best. And so they don't know what to do. And the other thing is most of these companies, they have to hire one person for this and hire a different company to do this. And it gets very expensive and those channels don't talk to each other. And so it makes it very difficult for an effective marketing campaign when they're disconnected. So really, I do teach and guide them along the importance of branding, the importance of a marketing mix, and the importance of content marketing. So those kind of three things, along with our digital campaigns, all working together is a breath of fresh air, and the affordability of it too is really neat. And I mean, I'm close with my clients. I drop off magazines, we get lunch. It's not like, I'm going to sell you an ad and then you don't see me again. So it truly is a connector role between the business, me, and the community.
Yeah, and I want to super emphasize this, that other agencies, they maybe do your print work. Another agency may do all the SEO or anything that's online. And somebody may be doing all your graphics, and it is very disconnected. And I truly feel that what you do is almost step into the company and act as their fractional CMO, chief marketing officer, that you're really guiding them to success, in that you're holistically trying to figure out what is your company, what are you trying to say, and how can I best do that for you? So it to me seems like really more that you're stepping into the company, fractionally helping them out like this, but you're doing this with so many companies. And so I think that's fantastic. And you really are big on education, not only educating the small business owner, but the community. And so I would love for you to give us a training tidbit, whether it be geared toward the community at large or those local small business owners that don't work with you yet. What's just on the training tidbit that we can all walk away with?
Yeah, so I wanted to, I did some homework for you all because things change constantly. So I wanted to really give you kind of like a real life in time glimpse into what works, why this model works, working with me. We have over 30 publications all throughout Colorado that we micro target communities in. And so that's where, the local plumber, he may pull 2 or 3 different areas and want to really get their name out in those 3. Maybe it's just one community where you have that sphere of influence crossover where you sponsor something at the coffee house, or, you have a lot of connections there to speak up for you and what you do. And so despite where you are or where you're targeting, the relationship between print and digital advertising is huge. And I don't think people really give credit to the print side of things. So I just wanted to kind of touch base on, why the business of branding is so important. And you can do that a lot faster when you're doing both print and digital advertising. So really, some of the key takeaways are print wins over email, hands down. They did a study and it was shown to be 35% more engaging than emails. So that number one is another reason why print is, still really important. It remains steady in a non-steady environment. So our lives are like this constantly. And the one thing that's predictable is what's going to drop monthly in front of that key target demographic for you, no matter what community that might be. It also increases your consumer's brain response to social media. So if they've seen you in print, they have a different view of your brand when they see you online. So those 2 things just work together. And there's actually a statistic. Online marketing campaigns that included print produced 163% more profits than campaigns that used digital media alone. So, hands down, if you can't get it any clearer than that they work together, better together. So we all know consistency wins. So if you're doing these quarterly, publications and they're working for you, great, but you need to be in front of people. Top of mind awareness is a big part of branding. And so just always being there, posting online, being in front of them in print form is another really great way where you can be consistent. It should be all about impressions, right? So how many people are you introducing yourself to every day? Because you're pipelining, okay? They might not need you now. God forbid I ever need you, Caitlin. But if I do, I know who you are. I see you constantly. Even if I moved away, your social media presence and what you do is going to keep you in my brain to refer you out or to use you myself, right? And that just strengthens that relationship. I just know I can trust you. You're not starting a law firm and then, you're not a lawyer anymore, right? You have to earn that prestige with people. And I know that I need to trust you or, whatever business we put out there in the community. But I just wanted to read a couple statistics because I just think people hear that you should do a marketing mix. They hear the importance of branding, but these are the numbers behind the why. So 400%, hang on, let me get to the right sheet here. Sorry, by combining print and digital ads, it'll make your online campaigns 400% more effective. That's crazy. Print ads require 20% less cognitive effort to process. Again, important when you're trying to cut through the clutter in this world. Print readers usually spend 20 minutes or more with their publications in their hand, and a typical digital visitor sticks around for less than 5 minutes. So the key is if you can get them to 2, they usually stay till 5, but a lot of them jump ship even before 2 minutes. 82% of customers trust print ads the most when making a purchase decision. Let's see. Nearly 80% of consumers act on direct advertisements, like magazines coming to their house, compared to 45% of consumers on an electronic advertisement. So if you have the 80 and the 45 going for you, you're going to just explode a lot faster than if you were focusing on one or the other. This one even shocked me, and this is my business. 95% of people under 25 years old read magazines. It's not just, it was very shocking to me, but just because, you think they're young and just all digital related, it's actually not true. And 70% of households with an income above 100,000 are avid readers. So that's why we micro-target into these communities to reach these affluent, really great customer bases for our clients in our magazines. And what is this one? Oh yeah, 18 to 23-year-olds who say it's easier to read print than digital content. So it's funny when you survey the people you don't even think it would really hit on up. And some of those stats are just kind of amazing when you look at comparing, the different digital things and print things that you do. So at Best Version Media, we have it all under one roof, right? So we have the magazines that go out to the communities, and then we digital geo-target and fence as well to track IP addresses, last loan locations, check-ins. We just follow them around, and we call it a digital door knock. And that's like entire zip codes. So those things work together, and we have the designer that makes it seamless as far as branding, so it looks the same across all things. So when we talk about under one roof and not paying $2,000 just for digital to be disconnected from anything else you're doing, that's kind of that whole service solution that we offer. So those are my little training tidbits on the importance of the two.
And to put it in reality, so most law firms, they pay to have a virtual office in almost every geographic zone just to say that they're there. But they're not really there. They don't know the community members. They're not really there. And so one of the things that Tammy does is just let people know that you're actually in that area. She graciously allowed me to be on the cover of one of her magazines, and she doesn't realize how that has affected my business. So when I'm talking to a client in my area, I literally can tell them I don't only live here, I really live here. I'm on the cover of the magazine. I've actually brought that to a couple of meetings because people generally like that. For that reason, I do represent a lot of people in my local community. So that is just a small example of how print really does matter to people in my life. And so we really appreciate you. You're someone that would be fabulous to work for, but also fabulous to work with. And so if someone wants to reach out to you, what is the best way to contact you?
Yeah. So, phone call, email, any of that is fine. That's kind of our jumping off point. But when we connect, I really like to connect in person. I feel like that's a lost art these days where, for so long we were on Zoom constantly. But when I'm referring you out to all these community members, my name and face is on the magazine. I am your word of mouth person. And so I like to sit down, get a cup of coffee, really dive into who you are, what you do, that you want to help the community, and that you're excited to grow your business there. And then I'm all in to help you. So yeah, just email, phone call, and then we usually meet in person and we can see what is the best solution because I have over 300 different campaigns.
That's perfect. And so I'll include all your contact information in these show notes. I really appreciate you, Tammy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.